All right, everybody, welcome back. Thanks for watching. Today, you're going to be watching me try Four Roses small batch for the very first time. All right, so when I first tried the regular Four Roses a long time ago, the 80 proof, I remember I was very impressed with it because I felt like for, the amount of money, I thought it was really good. Even though it was weak at 80, I thought it had a lot of good flavors in it. And I told myself that I was going to come back and spend some more time with it. Now is the time. In the meantime, I was out there with messing with the beans, messing with the turkeys, but I knew I had to get back to it. So with that being said, I'm all about doing the knowledge, and I went and did a lot of good research about Four Roses. So in my next video, the long-term review of this, I'm going to show you guys something that you've never ever seen before. Before that, let's go ahead and pour a little bit. Crack this open. All right, it's a real cork. Pour a little dram here. A little bit of the color on there. Now, what I can tell you though is that one of the things I like about Four Roses is that they're very, very upfront with the product information. They don't try to like play games with you and give you some weird story. So if you go on the website, they'll talk about how they have these 10 different formulas. They have 2 different mash bills with 5 different yeasts. So that's a possible 10 combinations of whiskey they can make. For this, they use 4 of them blended together. This is the fruity yeast along with the spicy yeast. So this should be balanced, I guess is what it is they're going for. But anyway, I'll put a graphic up here and you guys can see what I mean by the different mash bills that are there. Small batch, according to the website, they take around 250 barrels, blend it all together to come up with this bottle here. Now, what you may not know is that Four Roses used to be the top selling bourbon brand in the US in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Top selling. Around late 50s, early 60s, in America, our taste changed to lighter type of stuff. Four Roses, which was owned by Seagram's, they shifted more toward blended whiskey, like Canadian blended whiskey, vodkas and stuff like that. So basically they took Four Roses overseas to Japan and they marketed it over there. Four Roses developed a bad reputation as like a rot gut type of whiskey, but eventually in 2002 they bought it back. When they came back in 2002, they came back with the single barrel first, and then in 2006 they came back with this one. So this one has been out since 2006, 90 proof, small batch whiskey, which kind of makes sense because people are more accepting of 90 proof versus 100. But hey, to each his own. I will be doing the 100 after this. Haven't got to it yet. Got to do everything in order, man. I know when you get into the whiskey game, a lot of times you want to just take shortcuts. But that's like having Hennessy XO without ever having the VS. Like, how do you know why this is better or if it even is better? You know what I mean? It's a difference. Enough being said about that. Let's go ahead and get into the nose and the tasting. So on the nose, maybe it's just because I just opened this bottle, is I'm getting a lot of ethanol, getting alcohol on here, and a little bit of fruit. So let me go ahead and let this breathe for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the camera, and then I'm gonna come back in, give it a chance to open up. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and try it again. Yeah, okay, all right, this is better now. So now I'm getting pepper, I'm getting the rye, and I'm getting light fruits. By light fruits, I mean like pears, peaches, along those lines, which is weird because I'm getting the rye a little bit, but I'm getting the fruit also. But like one doesn't seem to be overpowering another. It seems to be very well blended. 90 proof, so okay, makes sense. Let's go ahead and go on for the taste here. Cheers. Let's go ahead and go for the secondary one. The mouthfeel is whack, watery, but 90 proof. It's probably chill filtered. It doesn't say that it isn't, but mouthfeel is kind of whack. It's very similar to the nose in that you get the rye, you get the spice, and you get a little bit of the fruit. I'm not getting like a lot of fruit. Think what you would get if kind of like you had a nice white wine, right? If you had a nice white wine, you wouldn't get a lot of overpowering grape. It'll just be very mellow. This is kind of like that. It's blended well. It's gonna sound corny, but yes, it's blended well. The finish to me is pretty quick. Okay, so you see what I mean? When I first taste it, I get a little bit of the fruit, but then it goes away quick. And then the finish is quick also. All right, so this is what I'm thinking. When I think about this, and I think about a 90 proof spirit that's around the same price point of this, I think, because this is about 40 bucks in my area. Woodford Reserve, the regular one, is about 40 bucks also. Woodford Reserve to me has more interesting taste than this. But Woodford Reserve, I remember it getting kind of like, and I still say it, it's the only bourbon I've ever had so far where I get kind of like a chocolate taste. This doesn't have that. This is not that. This reminds me of the regular Four Roses that I had, but just more mature. More mature, more interesting. To me, I like this neat. I would not put this on the rocks or anything else, because I think it's got a lot of like delicate fruit notes in here. I think you're gonna lose them. I think you're gonna lose them. You see what I mean? When it first hits the tongue, you get a little bit of that fruit, but then like the spices there, which is just, yeah, it just evens out. Even Steven. This is not something. This to me immediately tastes like a type of bourbon where you don't have to think about this. Not a lot of super complexity. This is something that you just pour and enjoy neat. I wouldn't put this in a cocktail. I wouldn't put this on the rocks. This is just a neat pour. Overall, though, I can say that I think it's good. I think it's good. 90 proof. I'm going to try this during the regular work week because it's not high proof enough where you have to worry about drinking a lot of it. Yeah, I mean, quickly, what I can tell you is that if you like the regular Four Roses, you'll like this. For $37.99, I have to wait until the long term. I have to wait for the long term, but do I hate it? No. Do I hate it? No. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's a solid bourbon. Next week, I'll be back with the long-term review. I'm also going to show you something that I got. Hopefully, the bottle will be empty by then. If it isn't, you know that, it was trash, because usually when the bottle's still full, it means I hated it. That's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. Whiskey people, I'll be back. I'm out.